Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Kari once again, and this time I have a bit of a different video. And I brought a personal friend of mine here with me. Say hi, JC.
People who hate my voice rejoice as I am here once again.
So the reason why I casually asked JC to pop in, there were a lot of really great games that came out this year, and I figured why not? It's the end of the year, so might as well talk about it. We will deviate into our backlog a little bit, but for the most part, we want to try to balance between the two, you know? So, JC, you said you played through the entirety of Castlevania this year, correct?
Yes, so before then, I was very curious in this series before because, of all the crossovers going on lately with the ones in Smash Ultimate. And then the one that really pushed me was, of course, all the collections coming out, specifically the Dominus collection, because that hold the DS games.
Yeah, the Castlevania Dominus collection.
Yeah, because that's hold a lot of DS games that were really expensive to buy, so now they're officially available to everyone. So at that point, I was like, okay, I think it's time to get into this series already. So
Right.
I went ahead and played through almost every game in the series.
Holy shit. Just out of curiosity, how long did that take you?
It took me the entire year. I took breaks in between because if I marathon them all at once, I would get burned out pretty quickly.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But before we discuss the modern stuff, what was the first game that you fully finished this year, and why was it Castlevania 1?
Yeah, so before I actually finished this game beforehand because I wanted to try it out before out of curiosity, and I still really like Castlevania 1. Of course, it's really hard, especially with the later stages, but there's some quirks in it that makes it
Final
unique.
stage, never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I personally dabbled in Castlevania. Like, I'm not a hardcore fan, unlike some people, just in general. But I can play Castlevania. For me, the very first game I fully finished for this year was Heretic II for PC CD-ROM. I don't know why, I just felt very nostalgic for that game. If anybody knows Heretic II for PC, you know. But just out of curiosity, what were some games that came out in early 2025 to stay on topic?
Well, I kind of logged all the games I both played and bought this year. And since we're starting off, the first official release that I actually played and beaten this year was Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, aka Forever Entertainment's most successful title.
Oh, hey, you bought that too. Nice. Yeah, fun fact, my only exposure to DKC Returns was the Wii version, but I never got a chance to play it.
I bought the 3DS version beforehand, but never touched it. And then I sold it just because of this version.
Well, yeah.
It's
I did buy DKC Returns HD. I personally had my fun with it. I bought the 3DS version digitally back when I bought it. I had fun with it. But then the HD version comes out, I'm like, oh, hey, why not? I'll buy it. And I'll play it again. I also bought DKC Tropical Freeze.
I had Tropical Freeze for a while now because I actually bought it when it was like 40 USD on eBay. So I figured, hey, why not?
Yeah, I think I bought it for like 20 at GameStop some time ago. But both are fantastic games.
Yeah,
And
the
that leads me
HD port,
to... Go ahead.
it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
again, it's not the most offensive port out there. Like, I'm pretty sure there's much worse ports, but it does the job well enough, except for, a lot of quirks with it. Like, of course, the loading times, and of course, there's some glitches when you're playing co-op where, yeah, apparently some stages are unbeatable now in co-op.
That is funny. That is very funny. At least
Overall,
in my opinion.
this is a serviceable port. Not worth $60, I can tell you that. But
Yeah, I will agree. I didn't mind spending the $60, but at the same time, this is also coming from somebody who actually has not played much DKC. Speaking of which, I want to lead into the next set of games I fully finished for the year, the DKC SNES Trilogy.
yes, I also played through the rest of the Donkey Kong Country series to get ready for HD. And yeah, this is my first time actually beating these games.
Yeah. Like, DKC 1 is tried and true, my beloved. And this was also the first time I fully played through DKC 2 and 3. Full 100+%, whatever you want to call it in every game. If I had to give them a rating, like out of, the 3, for number 1, it'd be a toss-up between 1 and 2. Same deal goes for spot number 2, and 3 is DKC 3.
I enjoyed 3.
Now you're just biased because it takes place in Canada.
But yeah, these are very solid games. I'm glad I finally, get the chance to play them.
Yeah, and like you, I was able to finish these before Returns HD came out. So
Another game
nice.
that I actually bought this year and actually tried out for a bit. It's actually a release none of us were expecting recently for the Switch, and that is Guilty Gear Strive.
I personally have it on PC, so...
Yeah, I tried out this game because, of all the buzz surrounding, like the animations, the fighting was pretty cool. And apparently the story mode is actually a movie, so I figured, hey, why not? I'll buy the Switch version because apparently this version was pretty good and includes like the first 3 years of DLC included. So yeah.
Yeah, just Guilty Gear Strive as a game with how it looks is fantastic. I will give it that.
And on Switch, it actually looks pretty solid, even on handheld mode.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, I played on PC, so I get the most out of it.
I didn't play it as much because I only played for like an hour, but I will get back into it someday because apparently of that 2.0 update that's coming out. But yeah, Guilty Gear Strive on Switch, pretty good.
The next, I'm not sure if you would call it newbie. I think it came out last year. Astro Bot?
Astro Bot came out last year, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I did finish... Actually, no, I don't think I finished Astro Bot last year, mainly because I just got busy.
No, you wanted the excuse to try out your new capture card, that's why.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think I do remember playing it last year. I don't remember finishing it, though, because I have it on my backlog list in front of me. And I fully 100% of the game this year back in February. And I'll be honest, I had a really good time with the game.
Yeah, there's a reason why it was Game of the Year last year.
Yeah. And I'm going to put this out there now. The new Super Mega Final Level, whatever you want to call it, can go die in a fire.
You know what's really funny about that is I didn't get to play the game because my brother had the copy. But when the moment I got it, I beat all the new hardest DLC levels in under 18 minutes.
I hate you. Staying on the subject of new games, I didn't record this one. I should have. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind.
Oh, okay.
Like, gameplay-wise and structure-wise, it's actually pretty solid. Story-wise, it's
Power
Mighty
Rangers.
Morphin.
What do you expect?
Well, specifically Mighty Morphin, because, that's all that matters to anyone nowadays. Yeah, gameplay-wise, level structure is fine. Do not play it with a full set of people. You will throw hands at everybody and not just in game.
Yeah.
Because at most you should play with at least 2 or 3 people. Those 2 or 3 people including yourself. So you and one other person, or you and 2 other people, in my opinion. Other than that, it's fine. I personally enjoyed it.
Not exactly the biggest Shredder's Revenge comeback for Power Rangers, but it's okay.
Yeah, because I think the game came out early this year too.
Yeah. Speaking of February, the only game I actually bought but didn't really play that came out that year was Tomb Raider 4-6 Remaster, the next trilogy of Tomb Raider games.
Right.
And I haven't played these yet. Apparently, these has one of the weakest game in the series, that being Age of Darkness, I want to say.
I haven't played much Tomb Raider because, being honest, my only Tomb Raider experience was 1, 2, and the reboot onwards.
Yeah, I was getting interested in the Tomb Raider recently thanks to the newest game that got announced, but I'll play these the series one day.
Yeah.
But there is one game that I played through a lot in February, and that is a game that you probably had a lot of history with. Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Me personally, obviously, I played it when it came out back in 2022. I had fun with it. Personally.
Yeah, so this game, the reason why I played this because I wanted to try out this game because the newest game was coming out this year. And okay, you want to know the example of a perfect hook but no bait? the game starts off with you basically going back in time thanks to God. And you basically end up in this, like, ancient land to help, to learn about this history and, basically the origins of Pokemon.
You get to learn the history of the region, and with the help of some of the NPCs around the game, without going into too many spoilers, because I know there actually are some people who actually have not played it and are looking forward to, you band together to pretty much stop the destruction of the world thanks to God.
Unfortunately, that synopsis is all you get, because other than this game's plot is so boring. It's like they don't do anything with this, like, isekai moment.
Again, on one hand, I perfectly understand where you're coming from, and I'll be honest, I have not replayed the game since. Like, I finished the game when it came out, but I haven't done anything with it since. I completed the Pokedex, I got all the events taken care of, but I haven't done a fresh playthrough since.
I'll say this right now, in terms of Switch Pokemon games, this actually runs pretty solid, and the graphics don't look too bad. I do like how they have this painted texture to make it look like, it's from the early days of Pokemon, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, because the game is based on the Hisui region, which is a predecessor to the Sinnoh region, in terms of context of the story. But aesthetically, it's honestly one of my favorite Pokemon titles.
Hope it gets a 60 FPS update at some point.
Yeah.
But before we move on to March, there is one series I actually played alongside Castlevania at the early starts of the year. Marvel vs. Capcom, because the year before that we had the Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
MVC2 is now free.
Well, I played MVC2 before via the PS3, Xbox 360 port that thanks to other methods. And of course, there's MVC3, my beloved.
Yeah, and that game has just been ported everywhere.
But the other games like Children of the Atom and X-Men vs. Street Fighter, I never played these before.
Yeah, because like they were all either live to arcades or other systems that nobody could get their hands on. And thankfully, we now have the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. So, by the way, buy it, please.
Yeah, especially with the recent updates they added, which is very helpful. I also used this opportunity to finally play through Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, thanks to the recent Infinite and Beyond mod that was released early this year.
You poor man.
Hey, it's a good gameplay wise. Story wise, is very disappointing.
Like, I mean, yeah, duh.
How do you fuck up Daniel's getting the Hadouken? How do you do that?
The same way Samus keeps losing her armor at the start of every new Metroid game.
But overall, Marvel vs. Capcom, I hope we get a new game one day. I doubt it because we're going to get Marvel Tokon next, but...
Yeah, they said that's coming next year, right? They didn't give a specific date.
Tokon is next year.
Okay. Now, speaking of full series, I want to give a quick mention to, despite all the issues going on with them right now, I'm not going to say who or what, but you probably know what I'm talking about. The special editions of Tomba 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, both are great games, especially 2, my beloved. I honestly prefer 2 over 1, mainly because it's what I grew up with. I tried playing Tomba 1, at least when I was younger, couldn't do it. I couldn't even get past the first hour. But as time went on, I'm like, you know what? Why not? I'll sit down, buckle up, and fully play through 1 and 2. The original PS1 versions, because at the time, the special editions were not out. So, but both were good games to go through. It felt really nice playing Tomba 2 again.
I think the biggest hook of these games is, of course, they're being on platforms other than PlayStation.
Yes.
Because they actually got the rights to port these to other platforms.
Yeah, because, like, well, granted, if you want the full Legacy experience, yeah, you get them on PlayStation. But if you just want to play the games, yeah, PlayStation, Xbox. I don't know if they're on. I
think they're on Xbox.
I could be wrong. Yeah. PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Switch, however you want. These games are weird, but they're fun, in my opinion. We're still in March. Didn't a certain RPG come out this month too?
Wait! You're forgetting one very important game that came out before this certain RPG, and that is our first ever co-op adventure, Spilt Fiction.
Which I honestly wish we should have recorded.
Okay, for context, me and Kari played Spilt Fiction around the day of its launch to get a grips of it. But we didn't finish it until April because we were too busy.
Yeah, but yeah, we started playing it like about a day or so after it came out.
But yeah, we didn't finish it till April. That said, this
Yeah,
game...
mainly just because life got in the way.
But this game... Like, I always trusted Joseph Fares because he originally made It Takes Two, and I thought that was a good co-op adventure.
It's also the same team that did A Way Out, correct?
Yes. This game, I will say though, the story-wise, it is a bit of a letdown because I for sure thought we're not gonna get like a whole Corporation is Evil story, are we? And then the game progresses like, oh no, wait, it is. It's like, god damn it.
Yeah.
That said, the character moments for both Zoe and Mio I thought were pretty great. Like, of course, Zoe's dealing with her sister and Mio's dealing with her father. And, the two actually bonded together to, escape this virtual world. Which, by the way, going into the gameplay-wise, they knocked it out of the park.
Oh, definitely.
Like, each gameplay, like, the gameplay doesn't get old right away. Like, there's always something new, and you figure out, oh, wait, we actually are doing this. And it's like, it's very, very impressive.
Right.
I'm actually replaying this with my friend, Top Dog, and I forget how much fun I had playing this game with you, even though Top Dog was playing the game much worse than you ever did.
Yeah, because like I saw that one clip you sent me, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, so in the second chapter of the game, you're escaping a bike section, but the bike is about to self-destruct. How do you disable the self-destruct? You grab a smartphone, and you go through a captcha test to turn off the self-destruct. And I thought that was very funny. Yeah, but Spilt Fiction, very good time. Even on all platforms, because Top Dog played this on the Switch too, and it runs pretty well. 60 FPS.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's not included, but hey, it still looks good.
Yeah, I actually might try to get a friend of mine to join me, because I honestly feel like playing the game again.
Also, it has crossplay. Like, you don't need to buy like a separate copy of the same system to play it.
Yeah. So, like, if JC and I were to play the game again, I could play on Steam and he could play on PS5.
But speaking of Switch, this was my most anticipated game of 2025. My final Switch first-party release. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition.
Yep. I'll be honest, I was not expecting this to be a thing, because, like, I opened Twitter one day, like, I want to say a month or so before the game came out.
We all thought it was going to be a Switch 2 announcement.
Yeah, again, like, I opened Twitter, and that's the first thing I see. I'm like, oh, neat. Okay.
For context, before this re-release, the Xenoblade series is only focused on the mainline games, 1, 2, and 3. 2 came out on the system because it was the first year of the Switch, and then 1 came out for later on. But then we had 3.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are wondering, like, wait, what about X? What happened to X? Because we had Elma appear.
X?
We had Elma appear in Xenoblade 2 as a DLC Blade. And they even included some strange story with her. It's like, wait, what did they put this in?
What do they mean?
Even we had some worries that this game X might be like a lost game because apparently Microsoft removed the Wii U game from their website. It was like, oh my god, are actually retconning this? It's like, nope, here you go.
Yes.
The definitive edition. Man, playing this game back in March, I was like, man, I'm so happy playing this because
JC's in his happy place.
So I bought this game originally when it came out on the Wii U in 2015 because it was this big new RPG from Nintendo on their HD console. This was Microsoft's first HD title. And yes, there were some issues, of course, but I was like, yeah, this was good. But the more I love it was my second playthrough, where I know more about, breaking the game and getting a guide to complete the map. But then now, with even more guides and, of course, more knowledge how to beat the game, I went out of my way to 100% the map. It took me
fucking monster.
It took me over 100 hours to finally did everything. And yes, I do mean everything.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I will say that the new content they added, the 2 new characters, pretty fun. The new story, without going too much into it, I thought it was pretty good. Because when you look at Xenoblade X's development history, Microsoft spent more about the open world than it is about the writing. Mm-hmm. And of course, they spent so much time in the open world, literally at the last year, because that was the point where Nintendo started to abandon the Wii U in favor of the Switch. It was like, okay, you need to wrap this up quickly. And it's like, and that's how we got the story as the way it is. Because if you look at the art book for Xenoblade X, There was a lot of
Right.
concepts that was cut from the game, and it was never used.
Yeah.
They actually brought a couple of these brought up in Definitive Edition. Not everything. I'm pretty sure there's some stuff that was left on the cut room floor.
Yeah, I assume like key moments and whatnot.
Because I'm pretty sure at this point they pretty much forgot what we're going to go with the X story from here. But overall, without
Right.
going too much into it, I thought the new content they added was pretty solid.
Yeah. I'll be honest, like, I bought X Definitive Edition at launch. I kept picking it up and putting it down just mainly because I was busy with other things. And I did eventually finish the game the day after the Switch 2 came out, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, so apparently people found in the files there was a 60 FPS mode that's not used in the game at all. And a lot of people wondering if there's going to be a Switch 2 version because when the Switch 2 released, there were some issues, like apparently the audio was desyncing in cutscenes.
Yeah, the audio was desyncing. You saw that firsthand when I was playing the game.
Yeah, thankfully that was patched and everything, but
Yeah.
I do hope this gets a 60 FPS boost because, man, that would be lovely.
I'm not making this a running joke for this video. But you know exactly what I'm thinking right now.
But I will say I'll end this Xenoblade X discussion, the topic with one specific question to Kari. How's it popping?
Huh?
You messed up the quote. It's how's it popping? Terrible. You?
Well, again, this is what happens when I don't play a game for like 6 months. So,
Speaking of 6 months, April.
yeah. Well, I have a couple things I wanted to mention for April because I mentioned this at the end of a very specific Twitch live stream, which we'll talk about later on. I was hoping we would get something regarding the new Digimon story title, which at the time we had known was in the works since early 2018. About February 2018 to be specific. So I thought, why not go through... I decided to make the wonderful decision of playing every single Digimon video game there is to exist.
Oh boy.
Granted, it took me a little while. Like, I didn't start that tradition when, like, in 2018. No, I started that, like, last year. At the beginning of last year. And it took me a while. I did have to cut some stuff due to time constraints. But also because Digimon World 1 is Digimon World 1. It's bad. Don't play it. But that kind of led into this year. And looking at my backlog right now, I was able to fully play through Digimon World Dawn and Dusk, two games I love. I got them when I first got my DS, but I know if I keep talking about it, I'm not going to shut up. Yeah, I fully played through those games again, 100%. It felt nice. And I had the horrendous experience of fully playing through Digimon World Championship again. I hated it. The worst part was, it's essentially all AI controlled.
Oh boy.
Like the name of the game is the name of the game. There's a championship, and you got to take care of it or go through battles and whatnot. But you're also mending your Digimon, this, that, the other. It's a whole story and a half. But the worst part was the 100% reward. Because, fun fact, to get specific Digimon from specific areas, you have to pay money to go to those areas. And that's the first problem.
The Horizon moment.
But my biggest problem is your full 100% reward after doing anything and everything under the sun. The in-game president of that universe is like, hey, cool, you won all these tournaments and you did all these things. Yeah, now you can enter these areas for free without any restrictions. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, that's the same energy as Octopath 1, where your reward for finishing this god-awful final boss is an accessory that turns off random encounters.
Yeah. The last thing I'll mention before we continue on with the new releases. There was another Digimon game I was able to play for this little tradition that I had. And partially it was a childhood classic, at least for me back when I played it. Digimon World Data Squad for the PlayStation 2. If you know what you're doing, the game is over in like 9 hours.
Sure.
Yes, and you want to know the funny part, JC?
What?
This is classed as an RPG.
Okay.
Yeah, but it felt nice to breeze through again. So, were there any other games that came out in March?
Well, before we get into a certain video game that came out in April, Kari, our another co-op adventure we had. My first time playing Resident Evil 5. Okay, so before Resident Evil 5, I played a couple Resident Evil games. That, of course, being 2 and 4, both OG and remake.
Right.
Going into 5, my first two things that came up to my mind. First, I need to play this with co-op because the AI partner was very not great. And the other,
Right.
and this might take some people off, I need to find a mod that disables the piss filter because I'm sorry, I'm one of those people.
At first, I didn't know what you were talking about.
I do not like how Resident Evil 5 looks yellow and green all over the place. I thought it looks ugly.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, honestly, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, the color mod came in just in help. But the thing is, it's a little too saturated because you get a little off-putting in certain scenes. I wish they could have,
Yeah.
dim it down a bit. But yeah, overall, Resident Evil 5, oh boy. It's a good game. It's a good game.
Yeah.
For our
Then
co-op
just
adventure,
casually-
oh my god.
And then just, casually insert the clip of me getting mauled by a Reaper.
What possessed you in your goddamn mind to go
You're like, I want to make a difference.
Piece of candy. You fucking dent head.
And of course, I have to deal
Which
with the PC's lovely mouse and keyboard controls, which was fucking me up. Yeah, Resident Evil 5. This was a good game. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's gonna get remade. Like, I honestly don't know.
I honestly feel like it's going to at some point, considering we got RE4 remake back in 2023. Honestly, it's just a matter of time at this point, personally.
Yeah, but I hope we see. But if we do get that remake, the original's still here. And it again, if you find
Yeah.
someone, again, either online or co-op or local, play this co-op because it is pretty fun co-op. You're gonna hate yourself at some points, but hey, it's fun. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But before we get to
But that's
another
right.
certain game, I did also play for the first time Shadow of the Colossus, specifically the remake.
I know of Shadow Colossus. I have access to it. Just, I don't know why, but just something about it just turned me off.
The idea of this is essentially a boss rush, and you're fighting these gigantic bosses. And it's like, when I first played this, I was like, this is getting a little too repetitive because you're literally trying
Right.
to strike down these glowing holes on these giant beasts, and just climbing up the beast can be a bit of a hectic adventure. And if you fall off, you got to do it all over again.
Maybe that's why it didn't gravitate towards me compared to a lot of other people. Another game that a lot of people know for when Shadow of the Colossus is mentioned is Ico.
Yeah,
Or
and
Eco.
the Last Guardian.
However you pronounce it. Yeah, Last Guardian too. I know of these games. Have I personally played them? No.
The only reason why I started playing these is because people love the soundtrack to Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I've heard. If it's not the story that grabbed people with Shadow of the Colossus, it was usually the soundtrack.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus, this was pretty decent. Again, I did try and platinum this game, and then of course, playing the game multiple times. But even then, it's like even if what you know what you're doing, it's actually quite fun and don't get very repetitive.
Yeah.
But now, the next game for me, the game of the year for 2025, Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
JC, shut the fuck up.
So, when this game was first revealed back during the Xbox Summer Showcase last year, my first thought was, oh, okay, this looks like an interesting RPG. It's like you're basically going to this fucked up land. The Eiffel Tower is fucked. Don't know what that's all about. Hey, there's someone that
And
sounds
then
like
the
Ben
game came
Starr.
out.
No, the one thing that got me hooked in this game was the developers. Do you know how in their bios they actually did list the developers and their list of games they were inspired by? One of the developers actually listed Kingdom Hearts 2 as one of their favorite games they played. It's like, okay, I'm buying this game.
I knew it. It all goes back to fucking Kingdom Hearts.
But then the game came out. It exploded. Like, oh my god, people love this game. And this is one of my favorite games of the year. Like, first off, the visuals, incredible. Like the fact they actually used the Unreal Engine and actually make it work. Like, everything looks beautiful and dark and gloomy. And the character models look very polished. And it's like, oh my god, they actually almost look real. And he actually found a clever...
JC still keeps asking me to play it.
And he actually found a way to incorporate the aspect ratio and actually make that a plot point into the game. I thought that was pretty cool. The music is incredible. The composer for this was just a random user on SoundCloud. And they brought in, it's like, hey, can you help me pick a soundtrack for this game? It's like, okay. And they made one of the best soundtracks of the year.
You just love sucking this game off, don't you?
It's good. There's no reason why it's
I get
the
it.
awards.
Again, I get it. This is also the same funny Canadian that keeps asking me to play it. Will I play it? Yes. When? I don't know.
But Kari, you love Legend of Dragoon. This game is basically Legend of Dragoon.
I hate when you say that.
Because yes, I know some people are a bit turned up about this game's parrying and dodging and all that, but once you get the hang of it, it actually is pretty. And let me tell you, if you know what you're doing with this game, you can break it in two, and it's really funny. Like, one turn, you pretty much just drain the boss's health to 0.
So I think that's enough of JC's funny French suck-off.
Yeah. Please play Expedition 33. It is a very good game, and I hope this gets a Switch 2 port.
I do have some backlog stuff. Granted, I did all of this in the span of like 2 days, just because a lot of us are trying to clear up our backlog by any means. I played through all of the NES Megaman titles on my Nintendo 3DS, meaning I had to play through Mega Man 5, and I don't like Mega Man 5.
Well, it's a good game, you just don't like it.
Now, structurally, Mega Man 5 is fine. My only personal issue is just the damage output of all enemies, and that's it. Otherwise, it's alright.
I still never forget the fact that you actually missed a beat during one of your playthroughs.
Yeah, I should have uploaded that one instead of the actual good one.
Yeah. I will say, though, speaking of April, there's a couple of games I actually bought but have yet to play. One of which is Star Overdrive, a brand new indie game from a couple of indie developers.
I still have yet to buy that. It looked interesting, but I never picked
the
it
reason
up.
why I got hooked is due to Ant Dude's video on it. And yes, it may be another open world style game, but the reason I got into it was, of course, the character wields a guitar, and you actually ride on that guitar. And also the fact that one of the inspirations for this game was both Breath of the Wild and Sonic Frontiers.
I'm not surprised, honestly. Especially with Breath of the Wild.
I bought this on PS5 physically because it has a couple of digital goodies, and of course I want to play it with none of the issues that the Switch version might have.
I didn't even know the Switch version had issues.
It's not just there's just 30 FPS cap and inconsistent frame rate, and the graphics may be a little muddy. And
I was gonna say, are those issues fixed on Switch too?
It doesn't have a Switch 2 version. If it does, at some point I'm gonna be fucking pissed. But speaking of Switch 2, potential Switch 2 versions, another game I bought but yet to play, the 100 Line Last Defense Academy. This is from the Danganronpa creator. I was
gonna say, until you mentioned Danganronpa, I had no idea what you were talking about.
So this game was revealed via Nintendo Direct, and when you look at this game, you first think it's Danganronpa.
Yeah, mainly because of the art style.
But the thing is, this is a strategy game. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I might look into it.
And the reason why I bought this is because apparently from the creator, if this game didn't sell well, their entire studio goes under.
Ugh, that's not good.
But thankfully, this game turned out to be a big hit. It actually appeared in one of many people's top 10 games of the year. And they managed to get the money
I might
to
pick it up.
They got the money to enough to make a Danganronpa 2 remake that comes out next year. So if you have anyone to blame the 100 Line.
Nah. I don't think there was anything I personally bought or played in May, like, at all.
I actually bought two things. First up, of course, is the second Capcom Fighting Collection, because the Marvel's Capcom Collection was huge.
I think I bought that. Give me a second, let me look.
Because the Marvel's Capcom Collection was huge when it first announced. Of course, I had to get that. But the second Fighting Collection, this contains
looking at it, yes, I did pick it up.
Because looking at this, it has the versus SNK games and, of course, Power Stone. and of course a bunch of other
Yeah.
fighting games. Of course, I had to pick this up
Right.
because it has the same presentation as the first Marvel vs. Capcom collection. I've yet to play through full of this, but I will say the first session I had with our friend Jess, yeah, he kicked my ass.
Get bent. I will say this. I'm very happy that we now have a proper way to play Power Stone, my beloved. That game needs more love, personally. Yeah, looking at it, yeah, I picked the game up June 1st. So I think about a week or so after it came out, maybe.
Speaking of a month after its release, there is one game I played through most of May. Actually, along with another game, but one game I dealt a lot in May was the PS5 release of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So, I'm a moderate fan of Indiana Jones. Like, the movies were fun, except for the second half, which apparently is sad because there's now more bad Indiana Jones movies than good ones.
Yeah.
But that said, when this game was first announced, it was actually being made by the Wolfenstein devs. I was like, okay. And then everyone saw the first trailer and were off-put by the fact that the game was in first person.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, I'll be honest, when I first saw the trailer, I legit thought it was going to be, like, third person or something along those lines.
When I first played this, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this game by the end. So it's a solid adventure game. Like, yet the first-person angle may be a bit off-putting, but I thought it was pretty solid. Like, you use the whip, you use guns, it's, like, pretty fun. I will say, though, Troy Baker's performance as Indiana Jones, like, you know what really points when I first thought, is this Harrison Ford? Because he did a very good impression of Harrison Ford back in the movies. And I thought that was he did a really good job. Another game that came out I actually played in May for the first time, Doom Eternal.
Yes, Wood Eternal.
I played this game because of the newest game, Doom the Dark Ages, was coming out, and I never actually played Eternal.
Which was honestly surprising for me to hear coming from you.
This game blew up around the year it released because, you know, Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing releasing the same day.
Yes.
But Animal Crossing got the more attention than Doom. But I will say that playing this game, it was getting used to, because I still have somewhat vivid memories of 2016. Like, because Eternal was more arcadey, while 2016 was more core FPS.
Yeah. I felt like a bit more arcadey with a hint of core FPS with 2016, but that's just me.
That said, I enjoyed Eternal. It kicks my ass at certain points, especially the final areas, but I still had a good time with it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember struggling with the final area when I first played the game.
Yeah, I haven't played the Dark Ages. I don't know if it's an improvement over Eternal, but
I've heard good things, but again, I personally haven't played it, so.
Before we go on to June, is there anything else you played in May?
I don't think so, aside from one major elephant in the room, which we can talk about later.
I did finally play through Symphony of the Night for the first time during my Castlevania marathon.
Yeah, thank fuck.
This is very good. The fact it's one of the first, search action games, and yes, I did actually say that. I had a very good time with Symphony of the Night.
How dare you disgrace the original title that is the Metroidvania?
I'm sorry, but there are points where you have to say other than Metroidvania because Metroid is technically a Nintendo title and they don't like that.
Yeah, but for something like that, whatever.
But yeah, I had a very good time with Symphony of the Night. I really hope at some point it gets out of PlayStation jail.
Yeah, a lot of people. Well, I was going to say, the only official releases Symphony of the Night has are the original PS1 version, the PS1 Classics version, the Xbox Live Arcade version, and the Requiem duology.
Yeah. There is a decompile in the works for it, but the thing is, this thing has been almost done for almost 8 months now. I don't know what was going on there. Please finish that decompile.
You mean, do you mean 8 years or 8 months?
8 months.
Okay.
Oh yeah, speaking of decompiles, there was also we forgot to mention this in March, the Sonic Unleashed decompile. Like, that was incredibly shocking.
Yeah, because that just came out of
it
fucking
released
nowhere.
on my birthday. Which is good because I love Sonic Unleashed.
Happy birthday to the shit-talking Canadian.
Yep, the fact that this actually released on PC and it runs good. Like, good.
Like, Sonic Unleashed does not take that much to run.
But here's the thing. People find a way to get this working on fucking school computers. They're like almost 20 years old.
Yeah, again, I hate to date myself. Sonic Unleashed is almost 20 years. It's not that hard.
And this port, like, they went above and beyond for it. They even managed to help modders, transfer their mods from the 360 emulation version to the decompile. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, thanks to the help of the Hedge mod manager, but don't want to go too deep into that.
But yeah, that's it. The only downside to this decompile is you gotta find an actual ISO file of Unleashed to get it booted up.
Yeah, but considering how long it's been out, it'll take you a quick Google search in like 20 minutes.
Even then, it's like you also have to find the DLC files, and those are another can of worms that you have to find.
Again, a Google search in roughly 20 minutes, but
other than that, thank you so much. And even then, they actually find a way to give their 360 decompile tool to be open source, which means hopefully more HD era games.
Yeah,
to be
I think
decompiled.
I did play the PC decomp when it came out, but I didn't play it until like May. So,
but yeah, another Castlevania game that I really had the opposite of enjoyment thanks to Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Legacy of Darkness.
I legit thought you were going to say Castlevania Chronicles.
That's later. We'll get to that. But man, this freaking game is like Castlevania first 3D adventure. Yep, it definitely feels like it. And I played the re-release. Like, this has a lot of new inclusions and stuff like that. And it still sucked.
You know, maybe it's a good thing I haven't played much Castlevania.
Any other games we want to talk about before heading into June?
Not anything I can think of, at least offhand. Because, like, outside of the Sonic Unleashed decomp, I don't think I played anything else. Again, outside of the Big Elephant, which we can talk about later.
But before we talk about that Big Elephant, I'm surprised you didn't... Did you play Deltarune?
No, I bought it. And I still have yet to play it. I'm currently looking at it in my Steam library right now.
But shall we address the big elephant in the room? And that is, hey, this year we also got a brand new console released.
Well, it was going to be that, and also our crippling edition that is Final Fantasy XIV.
So the Switch 2. Okay, first off, this is technically also our 6 months in with the Switch 2 because we're still technically in the first. Year of the console.
We're still technically within the first half.
That said, have your opinions changed on the console since our first video?
Not really. Just overall, it's just the Switch 1, but better.
That said, we're sorry we had most of that video talking about the GameCube NSO. I'm sorry, just because that inclusion was just so groundbreaking for us.
Look, okay, this is the one thing I will not be sorry for, okay?
And also, since then, a lot of drama is still climbing up to the Switch 2 because, of course, with all the game key cards still
I was
released,
just about to say game key cards, my beloved.
including the fact that a Nintendo release like Pokepedia is also going to be on a Switch 2 game key card.
And that's really a game key card, and it's going to be $70.
Yeah, first off, I have zero interest in that game. I rather wish that those devs were working on a Dragon Quest Builders 3, but
Look, JC, you and I both know Dragon Quest Builders is dead. Get over it.
But yeah, the Switch 2 going 6 months into it, I still really like this system.
Yeah, so do I. It's still, to this day, like even 6 months later, still has that premium Nintendo first party quality feeling.
Yeah, I will say I'm still sticking by it. The major downside is, of course, the battery life. But then again, this has more horsepower than the first Switch, so that's
like honestly, the only time I really had an issue with the battery life was when a specific game came out. And since we're talking about the Switch 2, I can cover it. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, my beloved.
Any different thoughts on it since the first video?
The Joy-Con 2 mouse minigames can literally go eat a... Yeah.
I also picked up a couple of games along the Switch 2 alongside another game we're going to talk about, and that, of course, being Cyberpunk 2027 and, of course, Street Fighter 6.
2027, you mean 2077?
2077, sorry.
Yeah. Staying on Bravely Default Flying Fairy Remaster for a second. It's still Bravely Default, as I remember. I still love how I can break the game within the first hour, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. But, of course, there was one other game that came out with the Switch 2 that garnered a lot of attention for better and worse. That's right. Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. Shoutouts to Cat Chris video.
I will make one other notion for Bravely Default. If anybody has interest in the game, I honestly recommend buying the Japanese version, physical or digital, or it doesn't matter. If you're a stickler for censorship, the Japanese version will play in English, of course, but it also has the uncensored outfits. So, just want to put that out there.
All right, let's talk about it. Mario Kart World, the most controversial game this year. And even then, I still really like this game.
$79.99 United States Freedom Dollars.
Okay, I will say, though, this game's biggest issue was being the sequel to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
And a lot of people expected more, especially since this is our first $80 game. And you know why? Because when you look at the sales for this game, aside from Japan and UK, which the game's still selling well, in the US, it hasn't even break top 30 in the best-selling games of the year.
I am honestly not surprised.
Because everyone who wants to play this will just get the bundle.
Yeah, and my brief thoughts on Mario Kart World, they're so brief. I actually don't have much to say. Outside of playing the game on launch day with you and some other friends, I've only put about maybe 2 or 3 hours into this. Granted, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed those 2 to 3 hours, but I've just been playing so many other things.
I still stick by my feelings on Mario Kart World from release. I still think this is a very good kart racer. The open world,
it is.
It's a neat idea. The music is incredible. The graphics look very bouncy and colorful. I love it. Of course, the issues from it is still present. Thankfully, they've been releasing updates for it, like the whole Kamek item.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Mm-hmm.
Where you need to unlock characters. That's now gone. You can now actually choose that crystal ball at any time you want, which thank God. And I can say people seeing with the custom items on, man, if you have that Kamek item on, you can create a lot of chaos during the racetracks. It's actually pretty funny.
And you and I are definitely going to play Mario Kart World tomorrow before New Year's.
When we get to the other certain two kart racers, I will say this. Mario Kart World is still a very good game, regardless of what you think. Its biggest problem was, of course, being the sequel to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
And if I really want to be nitpicky, again, the $79.99 United States Freedom Dollars.
But hey, there are other games to enjoy on the Switch too, other than Mario Kart. Like another game I picked up that also came out that month, the Gex Trilogy.
Say Gex.
I will say though, the recent updates for it is because when this game first released on the Switch, you could not play this at all on Switch 2 because it was fucking broken.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of, and this is just a general Switch thing, I just tested this just to see how far I could get. I tried playing the Switch version of RE4 with the NSO GameCube controller.
How far did you get in?
I think within the first hour. Then I looked at the control scheme. Then I looked at the controller and I went, "Oh,
where's the select?"
Exactly.
But going back to Gex Trilogy, they have released updates for it to make it actually run well on Switch 2. They even incorporated the UK version, which apparently has a different voice actor for Gex.
Yeah. The special editions of... more so specifically, the special edition of Tomba 2 did something similar, but we'll talk about that when we get to December.
But first we got July. Well, before we go into July, I want to mention something real quick. So the PC version of Stellar Blade came out in June, and me and Kari and our friend Earthwind and Ice thought it would be a good idea to play through all the game together, share tips and whatnot while we're playing through the game to 100%. I was the only one that actually got the platinum for this game. I don't think both Kari and Earthwind and Ice got past the first hour.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to restart my file again, because I quite frankly don't remember where I'm at.
That's it, Stellar Blade. Fine game. It's like the combat can be a bit shallow, and I don't like some aspects of it. It looks pretty. Eve is pretty.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, again, like I put some time into Stellar Blade. I want to put more into it, but it's a case scenario of I need to sit down and play. I can't just boot it up, play it for like 20 minutes, and then go back to something else. No, I want to sit down and play the game to the end. Because I bought the game, so I want to see if it's worth the $70 price tag.
But speaking of game you put up and play for 20 minutes, I did play another game that same month. This is actually a birthday request because of a certain someone loves this franchise so much.
The one thing I will mention before we probably go into that, I played a singular... I played a few games in June since I'm looking at my backlog right now. Now I'll go over those real quick. But the first game I played in June was on everyone's favorite handheld punching bag, the PlayStation Vita.
Yeah.
And that game was God of War 1.
How was that port?
Not too bad, actually, but there was a certain set of events that had to be taken care of. You want to tell that story, or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
So, some time ago, I bought a secondhand PlayStation Vita from eBay. I was having fun with it. Yet the stick drift got really bad.
Oh.
So, I sent it to JC to get it fixed.
And it took me like 10 minutes to fix.
Yeah. A couple weeks to send out, 10 minutes to fix. Damn you import fees. Not going to go into that. But when I got it back, I noticed the back touchpad wasn't working. I'm thinking, oh no, what's going on? So I open up the Vita. Somebody forgot to reconnect the ribbon cable.
And that ill experience stick with me so much because this year I also opened up a controller repair business where I fix people's stick drift. That back pad ribbon cable just lingered in me, and that also stayed within these other controllers that people are having issues with. It's like, I didn't touch anything. It's like, oh my god.
But yeah. The overall God of War 1 Vita port, pretty good. There are some minor frame rate issues. I actually just started a playthrough of God of War 2, I think like a couple weeks after I finished God of War 1. Yeah, I'm still within the first hour or so. But hopefully for next year I can fully go back to it.
I will play God of War next year, but we'll talk about that later because
the next game that I played in June.
But before we go into it, I want to talk about Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I played this game because our friend Agender Fox was celebrating his birthday.
Their birthday?
Yeah, their birthday. It's like, hey, I can play a Fire Emblem game for you on your birthday, and the game that came to mind was Awakening because this was the game that saved the franchise. And it's like, I'll pick this up. I played the main campaign, and I thought it was pretty solid. Like, I like the characters. Yeah. I will say the story was a bit of a letdown because there's a whole lot of nothing and a whole lot of cool moments that ended up going nowhere. Also, the last act didn't feel like a last act.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I have not fully played through Awakening since I finished it years ago.
But yeah, this was a very solid game. The DLC can kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I hope this has a remake one day.
No, I had experience with Undertale for quite some time because a former acquaintance of mine gifted it to me for Christmas a couple years back. Fun fact, that was the only game that would run at a full 60 FPS on my shit-tastic Windows Vista E machine.
Could be worse, could be Toshiba Starlight Pro.
Yeah, like, I put some time into it back then. I put like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Never really played it. But when Deltarune was announced, I was like, why not?
It actually came true.
Yeah. I decided, why not? I'll fully play through it. And I did a true pacifist route, which is, in my opinion, the only way to play. Because I love the story, I love the characters. Just, overall, I love Undertale. And you should honestly go play it.
I have yet to play Undertale.
That being said, let's talk about our favorite game, Nicktoons Untie for the Nintendo GameCube.
Okay, so this game, I actually played this game beforehand, before you guys. Like, I had this when I was a kid. I had a really good time. Then I just started playing. Even then, playing this game with you guys, I still remember a good time playing this game. I didn't have that many issues, but you guys.
Action replay, never forget.
Oh my god! I had a good time playing this game with you guys, but you, Jess and Don, had a completely different story.
Yeah, like overall, the game is fine. Like I can play it no problem. I'm gonna need friends to play it, but I can play it no problem. I still hate the fact that it made us praise Digimon World 4. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And of course, this was the first playthrough I actually edited for you guys and actually gained video editing experience.
Yeah, and thankfully, speaking of Digimon, this is the last game I'll talk about. For the longest time, granted, there's still some games that don't have fan translations or official translations, but one of the more groundbreaking ones for the Digimon franchise had unearthed. And I am talking about the Japanese-only Nintendo DS title, Digimon Story Lost Evolution. Without going into too much, it is my favorite of the DS games. It is a little weird with how it handles the Digivolution stuff, but that's... I wouldn't shut up if I talked about it. But overall, it has its unique quirks, but good game. Alright, so July?
Okay, so technically, before we talk about a certain game involving a certain monkey, my first game of July was actually the remake of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. I love Pro Skater 3. It was one of my first games I ever played on the PlayStation 2. I love that game.
Fun fact, there's a PlayStation 1 port of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3.
I actually played that and realized, oh god, this game looks like garbage. But no, 3, I even playing this remake, I had a lot of good memories with 3. The second level, no joke, takes place in my area.
And again, fun fact, JC's Canadian, so...
But yeah, going to all these different levels and just skating around, doing all certain tracks. I forgot how hard this game can be. But yeah, it was a good-ass time.
Yeah.
That said, 4. I never played Pro Skater 4. A lot of people were disappointed to find out the career mode of 4 is not going to be included in the remakes. I actually did play the levels in 4, and I thought that was pretty serviceable how they handled the transition from both different career modes onto this version. And I thought they did a solid job. That said, I was pretty blue-balled because they promised a SpongeBob crossover in this. It's only for one segment in one level, and it's really hard to get to it, so I figure out why did they even bother.
That's mean.
Also, the TMNT crossover, it was nice to see Michelangelo. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I will say Doom Guy had it was pretty cool.
Okay, the fact that they threw in Doom Guy was pretty funny. Tony Hawk Pro Skater a lot when I was younger, specifically 1 and 2. And I'll be honest, even still to this day, I don't think I could really get back into the games. But I'm glad you had fun with those. Now, the next set of games I personally played, I all binged within the span of like 3 to 4 days. My first game of July was part of the backlog. Super Mario Advance 2, Super Mario World. I also did Sonic Advance 1, Sonic Advance 2, DKC 1 and 2, all within the span of like 3 to 4 days. And I have them listed on my backlog just because, again, backlog, I want to try to get stuff knocked out. I remember enjoying Sonic Advance. The Chaos Emeralds can go die in a fire. And I'm especially looking at you, Sonic Advance 2. Yours are the worst, in my opinion. And I dealt with the Chow shit in 3.
These games deserve a re-release. They just Sega needs to get it ahead
in some form or fashion, at least, yeah.
Again, do what Castlevania do. Do an Advance collection. Do all the Game Boy Advance games, including Battle and Pitball Party. Bam, that's how you...
Speaking of Castlevania, that's the next set of games on my list. Castlevania 1, 2, and 3 on my Nintendo 3DS.
Oh, how did you enjoy those?
I like 1. 2 was weird. I hated 3.
I did not like Simon's Quest. I'm sorry. This is like what? Do not do Adventurevania out of this, and it very shows. I did not like Simon's Quest.
Well, again, like my only, honestly, with 2, after I finished, I was like, it's all right. And my only issue with 3 is, well, it's Castlevania 3. It's hard.
Yeah, especially with the North American version. The Japanese version was you should play. Even then,
yeah,
I thought 3 was okay.
Yeah, and then I played everyone's favorite way to play NES torture, Ghosts and Goblins on my Nintendo 3DS.
I never forget the irate game review of Ghosts and Goblins. They literally gave up on the NES version and played the arcade version with save states because he was so fucking mad.
Like, I got up super early that day, the day I started playing it. I think I got up at like 7 a.m. for some reason. Yeah, I did not finish the game until 10 p.m. that night.
Oops.
No, just because it was that BS. And that being said, the last couple games that I have here for July are Zelda 1, Zelda 2, but a good chunk of this is on my 3DS, so you guys are going to be hearing a lot of that.
You're on 3DS high.
Yeah, I was. You're not wrong. Zelda 1, it's Zelda 1. Zelda 2, it's Zelda 2.
Good music.
Metroid on NES. Mother Brain, fucking toast.
I can't believe that's actually a real thing.
Yes. And then, the last one that I have for July, the original Super Mario Brothers.
Good old classic.
It can't go wrong with a classic.
Even then, it's very janky.
I mean, I can play Mario 1, no problem. But that's just me.
Now, before we get to that certain game for me, I did buy Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, the 2D Ninja Gaiden games. But by the way, shout out to Ninja Gaiden this year. Got like 3 games. One is a remake of the second game. Of course, one is a new 2D game. And the other is Ninja Gaiden 4. And a lot of people love Ninja Gaiden 4.
A mutual acquaintance between JC and I actually gifted me Ninja Gaiden Ragebound for Christmas this year.
And again, if you're going to pick up
So.
Ninja Gaiden Rage Bot, please go for the Path of Ninja bundle on Steam. That comes with this along with another Ninja game we're going to be talking about in August. But before then, it's time.
Donkey Kong!
So, this was the next big game from the Mario Odyssey devs. And of course, it's coming to the new fancy Switch too.
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I didn't pick up this at launch because I was just...
I did.
Yeah.
I put 20 minutes in and then I put it down.
I did pick this up during my Japan trip later this year. It was cheaper to buy it there than it is in the US.
Well, yeah, no shit.
That said, this game, I don't really agree that it's like Game of the Year. Like, oh my god, this is amazing.
No.
It is still a good game.
No, like, I've heard it's a very good game. Game of the Year contender, though? I don't know.
Because I'll go into issues in a bit. But that said, the idea of you're basically just a walking destruction machine and just destroying everything you see. And it's like, that's a neat idea. Because Donkey Kong's last 3D adventure was Donkey Kong 64. And it's just a simple platformer.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is like they actually used, Donkey Kong's strength and actually, use
Right.
that to your advantage and create like certain tasks for you to pick up these bananas. But that said,
Yeah.
the most egregious, most controversial part of this was, of course, adding a childish Pauline. And it makes you wonder, wait, what does this mean for the Mario timeline? Because Cranky is there.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on here? When you look at the original Donkey Kong, they never list the woman in that game as Pauline. They just list her as Lady.
Right.
And that makes sense because it's not really a retcon. More so like, hey, this Pauline is not the same Pauline from, the original Donkey Kong. This is just like the same Pauline from the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. And this is how, she started her singing career. Because the thing with Pauline in this game is trying to get over her fear of crowds because she wants to be a singer. And you try to help her because her singing gives you these abilities like becoming a giant Donkey Kong or a giant zebra or a giant elephant and use these to traverse the
Yeah, I was
world.
gonna say, don't go too far. I still haven't fully gone through Bonanza yet.
I won't go into it, but I will say though the soundtrack for Bonanza, a lot of people saying is really good. I disagree. It's there. I mostly remember the remixes and of course the Pauline songs. I heard that it's in my
Right.
opinion, it's a downgrade from Odyssey's soundtrack.
Really?
And speaking of Odyssey, like it can get very tiring to 100% this game compared to Odyssey because Odyssey, the moons, there were a lot of moons. They throw a lot of moons at you. Just like don't really mind the fact that you're doing all these challenges for it.
Yeah.
But for DK, you have to go out of your way to find these bananas. It's like,
Right.
Here's the thing though, you need bananas if you want to upgrade your skills. And it gets very tiring because so many of these skills require like, 5 points or 6 points. It's like, I gotta keep finding bananas. It's like,
Right.
it's pretty tiring at some points. Even then, it's just pointless skills that you're not really gonna use a lot.
I'll play DKC when I can. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Because, again, I've heard very good things.
But before I head off of DK Bonanza, there is one thing I want to say. It is a spoiler, but I won't say what it is. The one moment at the end, at first I thought it came out of nowhere. Yes, I know there's some foreshadowing to it, but even then, I thought this moment, it was great. But back in my mind, it's like, this kind of came out of nowhere. And it's like, I don't know if this was the right call to make, this moment happen at the end. But I thought it was a good moment.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anything else in July?
We're in August, my dude.
All right. So you kick off August.
Yeah, looking at my backlog list right now. Mario 2 USA. It's alright. Mario 2 Lost Levels. It's Mario 2 The Lost Levels, nothing more. Mario 3. Kind of overrated. I'll be honest. It's good, yeah, but...
Mario World's better.
Yeah. And then my 3DS Virtual Console versions of DKC 1, 2, and 3.
And we already talked about this before. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I'm trying to clear off my backlog. Mega Man 7. My beloved.
Okay, so this year you discovered a channel that actually gives you strategies on how to beat the bosses in like record time. And just looking through those channels, like, how the fuck do we miss any of these?
Man, I wish I could be a cool Japanese video gamer. But Mega Man 7 is still my second favorite of the classic games. My only issue is, kind of beating the dead horse. If you don't know what you're doing, the final boss can be a bit of a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had fun with it. But back to Castlevania. Super Castlevania 4, my beloved.
Yeah, I like
This is
Castlevania
peak
4.
two.
It's not the most amazing title, but I like it.
No, I to be honest, I prefer Rondo of Blood.
Yeah, Runner Blood's easily the best classic Vania.
Yeah, but as far as Super Castlevania 4 goes, it's like a nice pair of cozy slippers. I can just slip into them, no problem, and just play the game. And right under that, funnily enough, is Super Mario World. Classic.
I love World. It was my first Mario game, and man, what a way to start. I love World.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't really do anything new as far as Mario goes, but it's a Super Nintendo classic. You can't go wrong with it.
And of course, they introduced Yoshi, my friend Top Dog's most favoriteest character of all time.
Yoshi!
But you mentioned Castlevania. This all because I also played through the Sorrow duology of Castlevania. You know, the one that has Soma's
Right.
Cruise. These are very solid games. Most specifically, Aria of Sorrow. I was just shocked how much I really liked this game.
Right. I haven't touched... Well, okay, I have played the GBA and DS Castlevanias, thanks to the collections, but I have not played them this year, so it's been a while. So I might need a refresher.
Yeah, the Soul system was very, very engaging, especially because this was the inspiration behind the Shards and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And once you know the good souls, you can just easily wreck everything.
Yeah.
That said, Dawn of Sorrow, they nerf a lot of stuff from the first game that really didn't need a lot of nerfing, and it actually made the game lesser.
Okay, I'll be honest. The moment you mentioned Dawn of Sorrow, my brain immediately went, man, Dawn of Sorrow makes me fucking mad.
But RSO was a Game Boy Advance game. That leads to technically a new title releasing that came out this month, Shantae Advance Risky Revolution. So for those who don't
I have yet to play it.
So for those who don't know, this was originally supposed to be the sequel to the first Shantae, but unfortunately due to time constraints and other projects doing, this game ended up being cancelled.
For over 20 years.
Until now. That said, it's a very solid game. I like it. Apparently some people were very disappointed to find out that a lot of areas were cut due to fan service images, and I don't really agree to that because you do visit a lot of areas in this game. But then again, most of these are just towns and whatnot. But even then, like the core gameplay itself, it's still Shantae, and I really like Shantae. The new transformations were fun. That said, my only issue with this release, where's the map?
Wait, they don't give you a map?
That said, these areas are a bit small, so you're not going to get lost too much. But then again, a map would have been kind of useful, like what Risky's Revenge did. But even then, even without the map, you get used to the levels pretty easily, so it's not that big of a contention, in my opinion.
Still, but the fact that they don't give you a map is like, oh my god. Alright, the last game I have on my backlog list for August, a beloved classic to a lot of people, myself included, even though I dabble with the franchise every now and again, but I'm not like a hardcore fan. Super Metroid.
I like Super Metroid. I don't think it's the god tier game everyone wants. It's like, because there's some issues with
I really like Super, I like Super Metroid. Like, I don't love it, but I like it enough to where it's almost like I love Super Metroid. Like, my only real issue, and you can say this is a personal problem, the wall jump fucks me up every single time.
Yeah, especially since I was playing through Super Smash Bros. Brawl recently, and I found out the way to do a wall jump in that is very similar to Super Metroid. It's like, that's why this wall jump's giving me so much hell, because...
To a certain extent, Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure on the GBA does something similar too.
What's wrong with just clicking the jump button on a wall and then jump on it?
Yeah, be like Mega Man X. Wait a minute.
But you mentioned a classic, and a lot of people saying that there's a huge debate about Super Metroid getting remade. That leads me into another game that came out in August that was remade, and I personally think this is my preferred way of playing this game. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So...
I'm a casual Metal Gear fan. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, Snake Eater. I do like this game. My only issues with it is, of course, healing, and of course, like your limited inventory, and of course, the map design can get pretty linear at some points. I still prefer 2 because it's like that's still one of my favorite Metal Gear games. But 3 Delta, I really like this remake. The contention of this is, of course, the frame rate and the performance. But then again, this is only on PS5 Pro and PC. I played this on base PS5, and I had a really solid time with the performance. The visuals, of course, they look incredible. And the new controls and quality of life additions they added. some people were a bit concerned because with the whole crouch walking and stuff like that, it will make
Yeah.
the game a bit more easier, like it was in the 3DS version. I disagree because yes, it can be a little easier, but the enemies were retooled to actually detect you this time.
Yeah.
It was basically like playing like a playing Metal Gear Solid 5 in Snake Eater, but even then it doesn't hurt Snake Eater.
Right. Okay, real quick, I'm looking at my Steam library. There are a couple games that I personally forgot to mention.
What?
Well, first, as much as I love the franchise, nowadays, I will be upfront and honest, this specific version is not the most optimal version to play. I am very sorry, Monster Hunter Wilds.
We forgot about Monster Hunter Wild. That was the big release of February.
Yep.
Oh man!
Don't get me wrong, I love Monster Hunter. I do. It's just, thankfully, with all the updates and everything, they're patching it up.
Even then, the Digital Foundry called this the biggest PC port letdown of the year.
No, I know. And honestly, I won't blame them at all. But personally, granted, my only issue is just I wanted to play more of it. But just life got in the way. And me now being the big Final Fantasy XIV fanatic that I am, I've been playing that.
That's that fuck Arvel in 14. He's such a meanie.
Join me in fighting Omega and Monster Hunter Wilds, then we'll talk.
Oh, God. Is that even worse?
Yeah. Specifically if you go after the Savage. Because, well, the only caveat to Savage is that you need to be Hunter rank 100 to do it. So, like level 100 to fight Arkveld in 14.
That's it. Monster Hunter Wilds. There was a finding recently that this game could get a Switch 2 version, and everyone's fear is like, oh god, how's this gonna run on it?
I'll be honest, this is the one time where I actually insist that they do a fucking game key card.
Not even that. It's like, how does it perform? It's like the game. Like,
yeah, that's
this
another
game
thing.
really pushed the limits of the RE engine. It's like
Yeah.
compared to other RE engine titles, this game is like, I think the biggest fear with this, and even Dragon Dogma 2 from last year, RE engine can't do open worlds because it will struggle a lot.
Yeah. Another game that came out this year, actually, I personally haven't played it, but I know a personal friend of mine has. Rift of the Necrodancer.
Oh yeah, I actually saw it. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that came out in February. I also had the Gex Trilogy, but that was gifted for Christmas, so I can't say anything. But back on both June and July, respectively, I hate to be that person. I do. But seeing both Persona 5, The Phantom X, and Puella Magi, Madoka Magica, Magia, etc. released within the span of a month of each other,
something Subway Slammer.
Well, Persona 5 The Phantom X is the Persona gacha game. Madoka Magica, Magia, etc. is the Madoka gacha game.
And anything else about those games?
Magia, etc. is alright. It's on mobile too, and it shows because they just ported it to PC. That's it. The other thing I want to mention, because this also came out back in July, from our favorite indie developer, Indie Creates, Azura Striker Gunvolt Trilogy Enhanced.
So what did they make it enhance about these?
Looking at it now, let me double check. Complete with all DLC. I think there were some gameplay issues that they fixed, but I don't remember everything. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, we already talked about. I got that for Christmas. Another game that actually came out this year, which was also a personal Christmas gift from a friend of mine. Starlight Revolver. I'm looking at gameplay now. It honestly looks fun, but I haven't played it, so I can't say anything. And much to my shock and surprise, which I legit thought I knew about earlier, Fear Effect.
Oh, that's the Square title, right?
Yeah. It came out in August, and nobody talked about it.
Yeah, because it's just a simple re-release.
Yeah.
There is a couple games I want to mention in August. First off, the other ninja game I mentioned was back in July, was Shinobi Art of Vengeance. First things first, from the Streets of Rage 4 devs, and a lot of people love Shinobi. Good classic comeback for Shinobi. I will play this at some point. But the other game, and this is actually Kari's final game of the she played this year, but I actually played this when it came out. Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, I dabbled with the Switch 2 port. Granted, I already have my save file, so I just need to do the extra stuff. I'm I'm personally having fun with it. I just need to get back to it. That's all.
Okay. The 60 FPS is really nice. It's very nice
Yes,
having this
yes,
game
it
at
is.
60 FPS. The Starcross World DLC, it's alright. It's like the new
Yeah.
lore they added was kind of lame. It's like,
Yeah. Speaking of, I just want to put this out there now for the only other Kirby game that I'm aware of, aside from another one, which we'll get to in a second. Why does the Switch version of Team Kirby Clash not have 60 FPS?
I don't know. Ask Cal.
No, the fucking 3DS version was 60 FPS.
I'm sorry,
That makes no
Kari.
sense.
I'm sorry, Kari.
No, I know.
But September, alright. What's this about Hollow Knight Silksong?
It finally came out.
Okay, before anyone asks, I haven't played Silksong because I did play original Hollow Knight, but I was very burned out.
Yeah, so did I. Obviously, Hollow Knight Silksong was the butt of jokes for several years. And everyone kept making the joke, oh, hey, we're Silksong. Yeah, no, sorry, it got delayed. People kept saying this for nearly 6 years.
There were really points where it's like, oh, what's going on with this game's development? Is it hellish or whatnot? But no, they came out saying, no, we just had a lot of ideas we want to add to this game.
Yeah, again, Team Cherry is only 3 people.
That said, I do wish the transparency between their fans and whatnot should have been a lot better.
Oh, definitely.
This is an issue of a lot of games, looking at Kingdom Hearts 4, but Silksong really was the biggest example of you need to be more transparent with your audience. Because there's a reason why the knight with the clown wig was such a iconic meme the past couple of years.
Yeah. But, yeah, Hollow Knight Silksong came out. Looking at it, for me, it took me a month to beat and 103 hours.
Did you get all
Was
the
it worth
achievements?
it? Yes, I got all the achievements. I will DM you a screenshot right now so you can edit it in. But yes, Hollow Knight Silksong, it is here. It is real. Do I regret fully 100%ing it? Being 100% honest, no, I don't.
But it's so hard.
Yes, I know. I dealt with it. Did I complain? No. But was it worth the 6-year wait? I'd say so.
And this game's getting DLC.
Yeah. At the time of this recording, Hollow Knight Silksong Sea of Sorrow is coming in 2026.
Yeah, hope they stick by that. Another thing they added was the original Hollow Knight is getting a Switch 2 edition. Would come with 120 FPS. It's like, oh, okay, maybe this is a good way to pick up the game back up.
That'd be nice to play. Yeah, I didn't mark off Hollow Knight Silksong on my backlog until October. Because, again, like I just said, that's when I finished it. But the next set of games I finished in September are from the backlog. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX and the Oracle games.
Game Boy Zelda.
Very weird. Obviously, Link's Awakening is the best out of the 3, but that's just me.
People really want the Oracle games to be remade. And it's like, I mean, we got Echoes of Wisdom, which I really love.
Yeah, well, I'm also thinking, too, both Oracle of Ages and Seasons, and I believe the original Link's Awakening are all on NSO.
Yes, and Oracle games were made by Capcom.
Yeah. Yeah, just, they're interesting little ROMs. You could probably beat them within maybe a day or two if you know what you're doing.
Speaking of my backlog, September, I also played the other DS Castlevania games. Portrait Ruin kicks ass. And this gives me, and this got me very excited for the next Bloodstained game coming out next year, the Scarlet Enhancement.
Yeah.
Order Ecclesia, it's fine. There are a lot of issues with it that I don't really jive with, but it's okay. It's easily the weakest DS game.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, completely unrelated. I'm going to try to finish 3 games before the year ends, meaning I have less than 24 hours. Am I going to do it? Yes, I will. Mainly because these 3 games, well, 2 of them anyway, are just trophy cleanup. Those are classic Resident Evil 4, which I'm still trying to get that damn bottle cap achievement. Fuck you, JC.
We'll talk about that later.
And Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I have 2 achievements I need to go for. One is broken for me.
Okay, DM me. Okay, after we're done, you need to DM me what trophy that was.
Well, I can explain what it is real quick. Bouncing on one enemy 10 times in a row.
Oh, I think I got that by accident on my playthrough.
Yeah, so I just started a new game. Fun fact, I'm actually playing this at the time of the recording. I just had the game muted on my end. So, and the last game for the 3, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. JC's favorite game.
That game was really fun to, platinum. And again, I just love Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah. I do have a few games from my backlog in September that I finished. Staying on the Megaman train, both Megaman Extreme 1 and Extreme 2 for the Game Boy Color.
The 2 games that deserve to be on NSO.
Yeah. at the very least, do like I would say like Game Boy re-release, but we have the Game Boy Mega Man games on NSO. So at the very least, put those two there. And my personal favorite Pokemon spin-off, Pokemon Trading Card game for the Game Boy Color, just something about it just makes me happy. Super Mario Bros. Deluxe for the Game Boy Color, don't try to 100% it, please.
Okay.
But it's pretty much Pocket Mario 1, but with screen crunch. The last game I'll mention, again, I'm trying to clear stuff off my backlog, the very original Mega Man 01 on Game Boy Advance.
I really wanted to like 01, but that fucking... You could tell it's easily the first game. Also, the final boss sucked.
I'll be honest, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I prefer 01 over 02.
You are fucking insane.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'll easily play 3 and 4 over 1, but I'd rather play 1 over 2. But that's just me. And thankfully, the Legacy Collection makes it easy. Also, please use Save Assist mode.
Yeah, that was my big regret, was not using that when I played. Now, before we go into October, 2 games I actually picked up but yet to play. One of which was, of course, because a certain upcoming game next year actually looks pretty decent. Bubsy the Perfect Collection. They re-release all these Bubsy games. They did.
Yeah.
I will appreciate the collection is high quality. It's still Bubsy. But the other game.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But the other game was Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. First off, I want to give a very humble apology to everyone for our Nicktoons Unite LP for jinxing this game into existence. That said, I want to try this out because it looks interesting. But the reason why I picked this up was originally a tragedy with Sheen's voice actor, Josh Garcia, sadly passed away. And this was actually one of his last performances. He went out as Sheen again. And it's like, I want to support him one last time. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Yeah, rest in peace.
But the next game, and of course, this is easily the biggest game that came out recently. For all of us, you know exactly who we are. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. So when this game was first announced back at the Game Awards, a lot of people were, cautious because the last Sonic Racing game was T-Sonic Racing. And again, I didn't think that was bad. I thought it was just okay.
It was alright.
But you could tell, going into this, it's like, first off, it was confirmed that Sumo was not working on this. It's like, oh, they didn't bring back the devs for this. Huh? But then a couple months later, we see the first reveal trailer. The idea of essentially going into different worlds for the second lap was pretty intriguing. And of course, the roster looking to be much better.
I was going to say, wasn't it both the second and third lap?
It was the second lap.
Okay.
The third lap is only changing you doing the final race in the Grand Prix.
Right. Okay.
And also, the roster was so much better than Team Sonic Racing. For example, Cream is there. Guys, look, it's Cream.
And at the time of this recording, we're still getting more characters. Mega Man, Proto Man, you have returned.
Also, seeing the Babylon Rogues again was just so good. Especially because...
Even though they're kind of one note, but that's just me.
Even though Jet's just a massive shit talker to everyone.
I mean, it's fucking Jet the Hawk Tua.
Also, this game also did the one thing I wanted. So... When Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed came out, there were a bunch of characters that were going to be added to the game, but sadly cut. One of these characters was Hatsune Miku, and she finally got into the game.
Hatsune Miku!
The other 2 characters were because since after Transform released, Yakuza was getting more attention, and Sega bought Atlas. And we got both Joker and Ichiban. It's like, these guys are very nice to have. And of course, the recent inclusion of Knights. And you could tell they really like Knights because of all the love they gave that character.
They still want to do a new Knights game.
But sadly, if they do realize that, they'll be the first game to sell 4 copies.
No, it's 5. Get it right.
But even then, this game, man... This game is so much fun.
My only issue with Crossworlds, and it's not even in-game mechanics or anything, like Mario Kart World... I just wanted to put more time into it, and I just haven't had the time.
I will say, though, this game does do a better progression than Mario Kart World. For starters, doing the trials actually matters because you can get music for your jukebox that you can actually play in the tracks. And you play further in the Grand Prix, you also get, more characters to unlock, the skins and, of course, the car parts because you need to get tickets to buy the car parts. And, of course, the online stuff with the whole festivals and stuff like that to get you more decals and stuff like that, which was a lot of fun. I know some people were miffed that it disables the world match, but I didn't mind that. But the one thing I'll give about Crossworlds this compared to Mario Kart is it feels like an arcadey racer.
Oh, definitely. It definitely gives off that vibe.
Like the a sound of chaos you could do on the racetracks is both like you can feel like you're like, oh my god, I hate this game, but at the same time I don't really hate it. I still had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
But that said, I'm very happy the updates and DLCs coming, and they even confirmed that next year there's gonna be more surprises on the way for this game, and that makes me so happy. Like when Team Sonic Racing released, it's like this was during like we really had no other decision. We have to release this or whatnot.
Right.
Whereas this is like we love Sonic. We want to make this. It's like you can feel that.
We want to milk the furry blue fuck.
I will say though, regarding both this Mario Kart and another kart racer we're gonna talk about, is Sonic Racing Cross World worth $70? Dude,
No.
we can barely recommend Mario Kart World at $80.
Yeah, that's my only other issue with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Just wait for a sale.
Yeah, and thankfully it's Sonic. Like
Yeah, Sonic goes on sale more than Mario.
Also, get this on PC. So first off, this game runs like a dream, and second, the amount of mods you can get in is both hilarious and really helpful. Like especially with all the voices for the DLC characters being muted and just being menu sound effects for this, you can actually get their
Like I get
voice.
why.
Yeah, because they want to get the rights for them much easier, just like how Fortnite does.
So, speaking of the Mario and Sonic comparisons, Super Mario Galaxy 1 plus Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Okay, when this was first announced, back then we only had Mario Galaxy 1 on Switch, and that was through 3D All-Stars.
Which got delisted and now copies are selling for $200 to $300.
Even then, this version was fine. There are some parts I like it, like I love everything is more clear, and I love how the loading times are basically eliminated. But even then, like playing this on handheld mode is fucking nightmarish because the only way you can control the pointer is through the freaking touch screen. And I tried that. It's like this is awful. I don't want to play this on the handheld.
It stinks, and I don't like it.
And I'm someone who likes the World Ends With You final remakes.
Yeah, you really are a fucking monster.
Okay, so when Galaxy 2 was being announced to come to the Switch, I was very excited first because Galaxy 2 is still my favorite 3D Mario. But what about the stories? Like, I don't care. Like, the gameplay is still top tier. The music, the presentation, everything. I love it.
Yeah, fun fact, this was actually my first time fully playing through Galaxy 2.
So, Galaxy 2, when I was playing this on the Switch, first off, the Switch version, the controls are way better. For start, you can actually use the gyro on the Switch 2 handle, and even the right stick to control the pointers. Okay, it's already much better than the Galaxy 1 port on 3D All-Stars. That said, though, there are some oddities with this version. For starters, when you die, you see the Bowser icon, fade to black as you lose a life. But in this version, the Bowser icon doesn't appear, and I always find that really.
Yeah, that was weird, and it threw me off when I first played it.
And second, the load times that were eliminated in the 3D All-Stars port of Galaxy 1, they weren't eliminated in these re-releases. In fact, I think they're the same load times as the Wii version. And I'm playing this on the Switch 2 hard drive, which is much faster. So what's going on here?
Yeah, who knows?
But even these are still well-worthy ports. And again, they're Galaxy.
Oh,
Galaxy's amazing.
Yeah, obviously, if you want one but not the other, you can't just buy them separately digitally for half the price.
Are they worth $70 altogether?
No.
We can barely recommend Donkey Kong Country Returns HD at $60.
Yeah. Actually, wait, JC, there are a couple games we skipped.
Oh yeah. I forgot. September also had the Final Fantasy Tactics, Evil's Chronicles. The game that you technically have already, but you refuse to play it.
And everyone's favorite game, Hades 2.
I never played Hades 2.
I played early access. I had fun with it. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evil's Chronicles HD Remaster. I will play it.
It's a good version of Tactics.
Yeah, I just don't know when. Fun fact, for owners of the Xbox version specifically, if you take your own with some settings, you can unlock literally every single achievement in like 10 minutes.
Welcome back, Avatar: The Burning Earth.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evil's Chronicles, I will play it. I just don't know when. The October release I want to talk about for right now, the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit.
How was that?
It was weird, but it was fun. Kind of like NES Megaman, Ninja Gaiden, Contra. It's hard, but it's worth it. There's also a debug mode if you know what you're doing. But the actual game I want to talk about...
All right, Kari.
It came out the same day as Super Mario Galaxy 1 plus 2.
And another certain game that I want to talk about, but go ahead. Talk about Digimon again.
Like, if I were to actually talk, we would be in this call for like 4 hours. And I don't want to do that to JC.
There's a reason why she's streaming this game.
Well, I finished streaming. All the VODs are up. So for the longest time, we didn't know what Fate had in store for Digimon, specifically as a whole in the video game space. Well, more specifically, the Digimon Story sub-series. Because Digimon Story Time Surgery is the latest in that. But also, of course, the newest Digimon title in general. I fully 100% of the game. I cried a lot. And I'm going to keep uttering these words until the day I die. This is Digimon in the video game space at its peak.
Yeah, apparently this game did really well.
No questions asked. I do have a few very minor nitpicks, but no, not here. Please go play it.
All right.
You were saying, JC?
All right. Is it time for me to talk about the other game that came out at the same time?
I guess, depending on what game you're talking about, because I don't know.
Let me tell you about Ghost of Yotei. So before then, I first played Ghost of Tsushima when it came out. My only issue with that game is that it was way too big, and it's like there's a lot to do in this game. But that said, I thought it was really good. When Yotei was first announced, this was the game. I was like, oh right, I need to do the DLC for Tsushima, and I need to finish that. And again, just playing it, just reminded of all the issues I had with Tsushima. It's like again too big. There's a lot of stuff to do, and yeah.
Right.
When I finally get to Yotei, yes, the big you have a lot of stuff to do is still there. But that said, holy crap, this was a great game all around. Like, first off, the combat. In the original Tsushima.
Yeah, like, real talk, I'm happy you enjoyed Yotei. Me, personally, Tsushima and Yotei look like fun games. I just don't have the interest.
So, in the original Tsushima, you had stances to change when you're fighting enemies.
Tank stance? Wait a minute.
In Yotei, however, you have different weapons. And they're all fun. Like, you have, like, a spear. You have, like, grappling hooks. You have, like, dual swords. It's so much fun. And again, the world, like, this game, I'm really impressed at how much they crammed into this game. It's like, it's not even that much in file size. Like, around, like, 70 gigs. There's so much to do in this game. That said, the only issue people had with Yotei is, of course, the story. Because compared to Tsushima, you're literally fighting a giant army. In Yotei, it's just a typical revenge story. Even then, it's like, things are going to go wrong when... Oh, I'm sorry, how the fuck did a little girl survive a stab to the heart?
Don't worry about it.
But even then, it's like, there's no really great big twists and turns in your journey. That said, I really do like Atsu. I think she did a good job at being a compelling character.
That's good. Again, like, I kudos to people who actually like Ghost of Yotei and Tsushima. Me personally, not my type of thing.
That said, though, I want to, before we get on the topic of Yotei, Sucker Punch. I think they're easily the most underrated Sony developer out there. Like, the fact that they can cramp all of this in, and the game still looks and runs beautiful on a base PS5 is just shocking to me.
Well, you didn't feel like shelling out the money for a PS5 Pro?
No. Yes, a lot of people want them to make a new Sly Cooper. I personally want them to re-release Infamous, but
yeah,
even then, like, Sucker Punch, they're just really good developers. Please support them.
Yeah. More from the backlog. I still have a soft spot for a lot of older Disney films, and the fact that they got video game adaptations at the time kind of made me giddy. Those being my favorites of The Emperor's New Groove, Disney's Hercules, and Disney's Lilo and Stitch. I played through all three of these games within the span of 4 days.
Were they quality?
Yeah, well, quality at the time, yeah. Nowadays, they're okay. Yeah, just good little runs that you can finish in a couple hours. But the next game that I finished in October, I just got a copy of it in the mail not too long ago. But that's a different version. Chrono Trigger on PlayStation 1.
With the very lovely load times.
Yeah, but not just Chrono Trigger. I played Chrono Cross too.
Which, by the way, it was incompatible with the Switch 2 for the longest time until recently.
Well, granted, the version I played of Chrono Cross was the original PlayStation 1 version. Okay. So, Chrono Trigger, a beloved SNES classic. Less so the PS1 version because, like JC said, the load times. And the definitive version, in my opinion, the Nintendo DS version. And JC, I am not sorry that I cheated on you with that.
Cheated on me with a poster.
Look, it's a fucking poster. But Chrono Cross bleeds into November.
But before we go into November, I want to talk about 3 other games. One of which was, of course, I had to pick this up because, this was a full-on game on the Switch 2 card and the goodies come with it. Good. Also, I played the original, thought it was okay. Ukulele.
I still have yet to play, just ukulele in general.
I picked this up because I want to support the devs, and apparently the Switch 2 version, because I'm not going to play this right away, because they promised there's going to be a performance boost for the Switch 2 version, but it's nice to have it on my shelf.
I wanted to look nice on my shelf.
The next game is technically my final game of the year, but it came out recently, and it just blew up all over the place the last 2 months of it. Dispatch. So again, we saw this back at the Game Awards, and I thought this looked interesting because it just looked like, a Netflix show as a game form. But then when it came out, it just exploded. Like, you see all
it exploded everywhere.
The biggest question for everyone is like, okay, who do you choose, Blonde Blazer or Invisigal? And it's like,
right.
Okay, first things first, I went with Blonde Blazer, and to be honest, I'm kind of glad I did. Nothing against Invisigal. It's just that she's just a little too much for me, whereas Blonde Blazer, it just feels like a very nice person to have. But the gameplay in general, your goal here is to dispatch heroes to certain situations going around in Los Angeles. And if you get the right hero with this, right stats and whatnot, you can actually complete it and, level up your heroes.
Right.
It can be very confusing at first, but once you get into it, it can be very addicting. And of course, we have, the main draw of the game, of course, being the story.
Yeah, that's the most compelling thing I hear with Dispatch, because some coworkers of mine are playing it, some personal friends of ours are playing it. Maybe I'll pick it up one day. I'm not entirely sure.
That said, I know a lot of people are going to give this game flack because of the writing, because there are some points you can be a little too immature, like you can hear F-bombs going on all around, and the profanity, like, oh my god. Kari, the first episode, you're literally fighting a guy whose dick is just hanging out. You can see that. You can see, like, people animate this penis. And another episode, it literally starts with a woman masturbating. And it's like, man, they are not joking around with this, aren't I? But even then,
super mega ultra uncensored mode. Okay.
But even then, with those all out of the way, the characters and your relations with these heroes, I think are very, very solid. Like, you want to feel like you want to help.
That's good to hear.
That said, Switch players, this comes out next month, and it's a decent price too. Pick this up when you have the chance. And by that, I mean, if you're actually going to play this in handheld mode, please play with headphones and the profanity turned off, because there's a good chance a kid might walk in and you just see, a girl masturbating. That said, the next game I want to talk about, Dragon Quest 1-2 HD 2D Remake.
Yeah, because that came out this year too.
So, the year beforehand, I did play Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, to platinum completion and all that. And I thought that was a very solid RPG.
I still have yet to go back to it, by the way.
But the thing with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 is, like, Dragon Quest 1 is a very basic, bare-bones RPG nowadays. Revolutionary, but very bare bones. And 2 is often considered the black sheep of the series. So the decision to bundle these two together was a smart move. That said, they actually included a lot of stuff in here that the first Dragon Quest 3 HD2D didn't have, and that is finding treasure chests and secret points.
Yeah.
They also included a lot of quality of life stuff. They even included something I didn't expect them to do. So Dragon Quest 1 story, you're basically just saving the lamp from the Dragon Lord. Nothing else that.
Yeah.
But in the remake, they added so much story, like they actually included like the princess actually being captured and like the Dragon Lord's ambitions and whatnot. It's still the same basic story, but they added a little too much to it. It feel like you're on this grand adventure.
Yeah.
But that said, I only finished Dragon Quest 1. I have yet to play 2, which a lot of people say is a massive improvement. And pretty much most of the remakes, quality goes to.
Yeah.
I will play that
again, I have 3 HD2D on my Steam library. It's installed. I'm honestly probably just going to start a fresh save because I don't remember where I'm at or what I did.
Also, the Switch 2 versions of Dragon Quest 1 to 3 HD2D run great on Switch 2. I think it's almost on par with the PS5.
Yeah, but
before we end up October, my Castlevania marathon. Oh boy. I played 4 games.
Tell your story.
I played 4 games this month. Kid Dracula, the Mega Man we have at home.
Okay, no, fuck you.
Castlevania Chronicles, how not to do a remake of a classic.
Hey, no. I will not hear Disgrace of the Moonfight song, okay?
Castlevania Judgment. The only thing I remember from this game is that the one stage was added in the Smash Bros. Brawl via mods. Even then, it's a very basic 3D fighter. And finally, Kari's favorite game, Harmony of Despair.
I legit wanted to break my goddamn controller.
This game...
I hated that.
This game really needed a re-release. It's like, I feel like this game's potential should be more. It should have been more if it wasn't just more than 3 people. Because again, like Castlevania, it's very hard, and you have to grind these characters up and get their best equipment.
Be thankful I did not get the idea to record it. Otherwise, we would have been at the very beginning for like an hour or so.
But yeah, that wraps up October.
As for November, looking at my Steam library here. Alright, the first game I want to talk about, everyone's favorite, Sonic Rumble.
Yep. This came out after fucking months and months of delays. And it's alright.
Yeah, it's okay.
I like how Tangle, Whisper, and Search are in there. The Godzilla crossover is funny.
Yeah, but also we're now getting Tangle and Whisper and Crossworld, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I put about 20 minutes into Rumble. That's alright.
I put around 2 hours. It's like, yeah, again, it's just alright.
Now, the actual 2 games I finished in November were Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, mainly because I'm into a lot of the weird, obscure side of retro gaming. Like, you're talking to someone who has like 12 copies of fucking Cave Story. But yeah, Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, it's weird, but it's good. It was a little weird to play again, because I hadn't played it in so long, but I walked away feeling satisfied. But the other game that I want to talk about, granted, it came out a couple weeks after Digimon Story Time Stranger, everyone's favorite butt of modern Pokemon jokes, Pokemon Legends ZA.
Hey. No offense to Emma. Grew up, okay?
Everybody gets one, JC.
That's it.
Now,
this game, how do you feel about it?
I personally enjoyed it. The story actually got me a lot more than I expected. In terms of story, I feel like it's a little better, quite a bit better than Legends Arceus, personally. Gameplay, it definitely threw me off, because when did Pokemon become part Xenoblade? Anyhow. But overall, I think Legends ZA is a good time. The battle system is very unique, a lot of side missions, and at the time of this video being recorded, there's DLC with the Mega Dimension, and that's getting a lot of love. But somebody explain to me, why am I fighting a level 200 Pokemon within the first 10 minutes?
That's the Switch 2 version. This is the first time we actually see, a Pokemon game that isn't, from a previous year actually run this good on Switch 2.
Yeah, and the 60 FPS does definitely feel nice, I will say that.
That's it. Some people complain about the art style. Honestly, I thought the art style looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I actually like the art style.
Again, it's just the buildings look, like some of them are just literally wallpapers.
No, I get it.
Yeah. November, I played through, back to Castlevania again, the entire Lords of Shadow games. Okay, the Lords of Shadow 1 and 2, they're solid games. Like, they're just solid hack and slashers. I'm very curious. This is actually Mercury Steam's first time, making a game like this before we know it from Metroid.
Yeah.
Mirror Fate HD, yeah, it's definitely an HD version of a 3DS game because, oh my god, those graphics.
The first game I want to talk about for December, because I'm actually in the middle of playing it, even though I bought it only like last week, at least at the time of recording this video. Dragon Ball Z Boo's Fury for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. I miss playing this. It feels so nice. Well, granted, I wish I had Legacy of Goku 2, but I ended up buying a second copy of Legacy of Goku 1. I hate my life.
But Goku can die to snakes.
Everybody can die to snakes in the...
No, not just snakes. A singular snake. But yeah.
Good game.
But yeah. Hi everybody, this is JC coming from the Editing Minds. Now unfortunately while editing this video, me and Kari recently discovered something. We forgot to mention 2 certain games that we also played this year, but we didn't really talk about it during our very lengthy discussion. I'll let Kari talk about that one game she wanted to talk about.
So another game I got to play around February, well late February specifically, was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection, which granted, the only 2 games I've really put time into at the time of recording this video is Eternal Duelist Soul and Stairway to the Destined Duel. Other than that, it feels nice to have a modern re-release of the older Yu-Gi-Oh! Titles. Second collection, when?
Yes, Duelist of the Roses need to escape the PS2 prison, especially with its soundtrack. As for me, the other certain game I forgot to talk about was Kirby Air Riders. This is the big game that Sakurai wanted to make after Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I only experienced the open beta test that happened before the game released, and I gotta say from earlier impressions on, it seems like a decent kart racer. Of course, the big draw of this is of course the city trial mode, and I did play it, and yes, it is still chaotic fun as it was back during the GameCube. I will get this game sooner rather or later if we're gonna do another discussion like this in the new year. I will say though, I do love how Sakurai basically make a Star Nova from Superstar the universe's biggest monkey's paw out there. That's such a brilliant idea. Okay, enough stalling. Time to talk about the games in December. My last game was Ditch Badge. I did play the Misadventures of Trombone for a while. It's like, this game is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like about Trombone. It's weird.
I will say though, seeing the characters again is nice. The mini games, it's like, I don't know. I need to play more of it at some point to get a better idea of this game. But there are two games that did release that same month. And I know you're going to talk about one certain one, but before you get into that, I did pick up this game because I knew I was going to love it because I loved the previous two games. Octopath Traveler 0. I'm going to be playing this game soon because, I love Octopath.
Yeah, like I personally have Octopath 2 installed. I just need to get around to playing it. I've heard I've heard great things, but
of course, the next big game we've been waiting over 8 years for.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
I'm gonna be playing this game next month alongside 2 and 3 because I played Prime 1
personally
Remastered,
enjoyed Prime
but I
4.
need to play the other 3 games.
Yeah, like I know Prime 4 has gotten a bit of controversy with it when it came out, and even nowadays. Granted, it's only been out for not even a month, but without going into too much, because I know a lot of my friends personally want to play but don't want to go into spoilers, which is fair. Was it worth the wait? Personally, I'd say so.
The only issue with this game is, again, they need to be more transparent because when this game was first announced back in 2017, did you really have the idea that this game was going to get rebooted and we wouldn't see it again for another 5 years?
No, but
even then, like, the idea of this game, the fact we even got the sequel to Prime after all this time was pretty satisfying. That said,
overall...
No, I will say, though, the original developers for Prime 4 before the reboot, which originally speculated to be Bandai Namco, that studio, Nintendo actually bought. So it feels like that original idea, they weren't ashamed of it, but they was like, hey,
no,
you guys have potential. We're going to buy you.
Yeah. But again, overall, I enjoyed Prime 4. I would personally wait for a sale before picking it up, though.
Also, something amiibos, just locking on something useful, like,
JC, you're 5 seconds away from getting fucking punched. But I have 2 more games. Both came out this month. The first one, funnily enough, came out on December 1st. Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
I want to play this so bad.
We will play it at some point. I've only put about an hour into it, but I really enjoyed what I played. I'm hoping to finish it next year. And then my final game for this year, which I still haven't finished. I actually could finish it right now if I wanted to, but again, I'm playing other things. I mentioned in January that I played through Tomba 1 and 2 on original PS1, just because those were the only that was the only platform I had access to. We never had a PC release in any way, shape, or form until this year, where they both got re-released on modern hardware. And oh boy, I have some things I want to say. First off, I'm very happy that both Tomba 1 and 2 have modern re-releases, especially Tomba 2, my beloved. However, there was a lot packaged, and I mean baggage-wise. The biggest contender was that they actually had to put an update out to fix this, by the way. It was only with the Japanese soundtrack, which, by the way, I actually like the Japanese soundtrack. It's really good in my opinion. But the US soundtrack was not listed in any way, shape, or form, and when, before they patched it, when you died, whether by losing all your health or falling into a pit of lava, you go back to your last save. You don't get the option to continue and restart from the area that you died in. So, thankfully, the rewind was nice, and at the time of this video, they put out an update a few days later to fix these issues, but yet the weird thing is, I have a save file that's close to endgame with the Japanese soundtrack, but if I want to play with the US soundtrack, yeah, you have to start an entirely new file, which is kind of dumb.
My understanding with that is they likely uploaded a new ROM, and I guess the saves weren't compatible.
Yeah, and they actually just released an update at the time of this recording. Funny thing, so with some of the major boss fights, like the evil pigs, you open a door and then there's a screen transition. Yeah, that screen transition was bugged. JC knows what I'm talking about. He's seen it, but they just dropped a patch that fixed it. So I still haven't finished the game, but overall, it feels very nice to play Tomba 2 again, especially on modern hardware.
Oh, but yeah, there is, before we wrapped up our games discussion, there is one game we technically both played this month, but we spent so little time on it. Vampire Survivors.
Crackhouse, my beloved, I missed
you.
We
only played it for like 30 minutes. I mean, I only played for 30 minutes. You have a lot of time into this game.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors is just one of those case scenarios where I just want to turn my brain off.
Yeah, I need to play more of this soon, because I do like the idea of this game, just mindlessly killing a bunch of horde of enemies, and the fact they added so much to this game. They're even getting a pseudo sequel soon.
Yeah, because like, let me look at Vampire Survivors on my Steam. Give me just 1 second. At the time of this recording, I have 145 hours into it, and I'm only missing 9 achievements. The last game I want to talk about is one that has resonated with both of us for so long. More so you, because you've been playing it longer.
Does it start with an F and ends with a 14?
Yes. Final Fantasy 14.
So,
at the time of this recording, I personally have been playing the game for almost 2 years, and holy shit, time flies.
So, back when, at the start of this year, my goal, and it's still going on to this day, is to level every single job I have.
Yeah,
as of now, I have 7 jobs left.
Yeah, I don't remember how many jobs I have left, but yeah, I started playing Final Fantasy XIV early January of 2024 when 7.0 was announced, because it was centered around Final Fantasy IX, my beloved, and the rest is history. Because like, I tried playing Final Fantasy XIV a handful of times, mainly around the early times of me working, but I could never really sit down and play it.
The thing with MMOs,
mainly because I didn't have a good computer at the time.
The thing with MMOs in general is like, they can be starting off very, very, concerning and all that, because of all the times people had with these games. But I will say though, with 14, it's like, even Yoshi P said this: we're not forcing you to keep playing this. Just take your time.
No. Yeah, and like, real talk, memes aside, for anyone who wants to get into 14, there is the free trial.
That don't play this on Xbox.
Yeah, because if you mention the words free company, you'll get banned. But memes and jokes aside, the free trial is honestly the best way to get into Final Fantasy XIV. And I personally had to renew my sub because I bought the game outright instead of playing the free trial first. But I don't regret it, because Final Fantasy XIV is now one of my favorite games of all time. 2 major events happened when playing 14. First off is, of course, one particular fight popped up. We won't go into much of it because, it is spoilerific to the expansion, but we'll keep it brief. Kari's been pestering me for over months and months about finally getting this Clair. I finally joined it after so long. I got the Clair within 24 hours. because her raid group really helped out a bunch, and of course, looking at all the tips and whatnot really helped me out. And it's like, at this point, it's like, I need to beat this, and I finally did it. Without any context, how does it feel to finally be a sphere warrior? Pretty invigorating, but of course, this leads into more of, I want to do more fights like this, and of course, get my mounts. And don't forget, we need to get you that mount. Yeah. So, but the other thing that also happened during 14, this year really was the year where I need to start respecting more artistry. It's like, because in the last year, I think I commissioned about 50 artists, which is insane to think about, but most of this is going towards my Final Fantasy XIV character, because as time goes on, I really resonated with her, and of course I wanted to showcase her in her job attires. But that being said, I'm now going to give myself the free pass for this. Rosetta Delgado, what the fuck? But the thing is, the reason why I go this way is because AI art is
getting everywhere. It's so annoyingly everywhere in like jobs and like everywhere. I was in Japan. They were selling T-shirts, and I could tell it was AI generated. It's like, oh god, what's up with the clown's faces?
Just straight up fucking pain.
But the moment that really nailed it for me to at least start commissioning artists was the fucking government of the United States posting AI art and AI generated AI videos. And it's like, you're running this company. Be mature. Why is middle schoolers more mature than you?
I don't know.
But yeah.
But
respect
Final
artists.
Fantasy XIV was a decision I'm very happy I got back in with. You know what they say, the third time's the charm, and this was my third time popping into it, and it's stuck. I have no regrets.
They're going to be announcing the next expansion soon.
Within the next 6 to 8 months.
That's it.
Because at the time of...
I can't wait for more people to bitch about it and then argue about it and all that. But the back of my mind, I just wondered, people will forgive all the faults that 14s give if 14 was turn-based.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Because, at the time of this recording, literally 2 weeks ago today, patch 7.4 dropped. So, yeah. I love Final Fantasy XIV. And that being said...
And yeah,
I think we've talked about all we needed to.
But before we go off, before we scatter to the wind, since it's technically the end of the year, what is your most anticipated stuff to do for next year?
Okay, real talk.
Okay, I have a couple of games I want to say there. I'm really excited for Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight because, oh my god, this is just a Lego Batman Arkham game. I'm really excited for Marvel's Wolverine. I love Insomniac. I can't wait to...
Yeah, I'm excited for Marvel's Wolverine.
Mario Tennis Fever. I liked Tennis Aces, and Tennis Fever looked like it to be Aces but more. So, yeah.
Megaman Star Wars Legacy Collection, my beloved.
And of course, Bloodstained, the Scarlet Enhancement. After playing Portrait of Ruin, I am really excited for this now. Bubsy 4D. Holy crap, this game actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah, Bubsy actually looks good. What the fuck?
And more what the fuck, why the fuck is there a Danganronpa 2 remake? And of course, a bunch of other games coming out that I've yet to list. I'm sure people are going to talk about GTA 6 and all that, but at the same time...
Monster Hunter Stories 3, fuck Grand Theft Auto 6.
And of course, I can't wait for all the Switch 2 announcements and all that. I want more Switch 2 updates, please.
Yeah. Either pick up a new hobby, focus on your backlog like a lot of us, or try something new, and anything and everything. Please, let us know. And as always, I'll still try to keep pumping out videos when and wherever I can.
Including our River City Girls playthrough. Which, by the way, thank you all for all the support so far.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I need to upload the next part soon. But yeah, thank you guys for staying here. Assuming this was entertaining enough for you. You guys have a fantastic night. Be safe. And have a very safe and very happy 2026.
And regardless of what this year brought you, both positive and negative, just remember... We're all here just to get back all together to celebrate all the times we have together. So, yeah.
All right. Again, take care, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.